And I'm up. We have Dylan and Luke Noble, a couple Boy Scouts, nephews of former 5th Ward Alderman Chris Nybo, so I know they'll know it. All right, face the flag, and all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Go ahead, Luke.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thanks, Scouts. All right, we're on to announcements. And I think some of the other aldermen. Roll call. Roll call, Kirk.
Dunn.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Palumsky absent. Jensen.
Here.
Toludo. Here. Cahill absent. Nudera.
Here.
Park.
Here.
Conquest absent. Tostito.
Here.
Mulliner.
Here.
Brennan.
Here.
Beremus.
Here.
Deuter.
Here.
11 present, 3 absent.
11 present, 3 absent. We have a quorum. Can I go into announcements? All right, thank you. All right, well, welcome everyone. Usually we don't have too many announcements of this nature, but as everyone knows, over the past couple of weeks, there's been some threats to world peace with the invasion of Ukraine. And we have a lot of concerned citizens who want to show support. I've worked with our communications officer. We will have some vetted sites where you can go to make donations, monetary donations that will be on our website tomorrow or the day after. We also are working with, if we can, to have a drop-off centers established either with the city or without, where supplies can be delivered, and we can then arrange through the organizations we're identifying to have those shipped overseas. So it's, I'm almost the oldest one on the dais here, maybe the oldest, I don't know. Okay. But it's, this is really an upsetting time for what I've seen in my lifetime in the world, and I know we've had a lot of polarized political issues. I hope we can all get behind this one and do some positive things there. I've been at a number of events over the weekend, and I know some of the other aldermen also want to make some comments, so I will leave it at that, but look to our website for additional guidance. Anyone else want to have announcements? Alderman Beremus.
Thank you, Mayor. I had to put my readers on. I would like to recognize my fellow Pick Subdivision neighbors, Alexa and Jason Ohms and George Marcinek. They are of Ukrainian descent, and I met with them last week. To stand in solidarity with Ukraine, Alexa has supplied our neighborhood with blue and yellow ribbons, light bulbs, and the pins we are wearing here tonight. There has been an outpouring of kindness and support, and several trees are wrapped with ribbons, and the front of our homes are lit in blue and yellow. Yesterday, Mayor Levin, Alderman Jensen, Representative Mazzocchi, the Elmhurst Independent, and several residents gathered on the Oakland Grove Parkway to meet and thank Alexa and her family for their continued mission until peace is restored to the Ukrainian people. I am incredibly proud of our community and hope others will consider displaying a ribbon and help with ongoing humanitarian efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Beremus. Alderman Jensen.
Thank you, Mayor. The news coming out of Russia's war in Ukraine is difficult to watch and read. The tragedy gets worse by the day, and it's easy to feel hopeless. However, embedded in the awful news of devastation are the stories of the Ukrainian people. Their determination, compassion, kindness, self-sacrifice, all things I grew up seeing in my Ukrainian grandfather. Ultimately, Ukraine will prevail, and the Ukrainian people will rebuild, but they will need help. Elmhurst is an amazingly generous community, supporting people in need both near and far, as I know many of us want to help the Ukrainian people as well. As Mayor Levin announced, there will be a list of ways that we can help posted on elmhurst.org. In addition to listed city resources, I'm happy to make myself available to the organizations and citizens of Elmhurst to further any movement in support of the Ukrainian people. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Jensen. Alderman Hill.
Thank you, Mayor. I learned of an Elmhurst connection to this war, the first that I'm personally aware of. An Elmhurst University student veteran withdrew from classes over the weekend to travel to Ukraine and support their fight directly. And after receiving a number of queries about how we could support individuals that have made choices like these, if you are interested in supporting the volunteers that participate in this, please feel free to donate to the organization that is making it possible for him and others to travel to the Ukraine. That is the Yard Foundation, based in Chicago, which can be found at theyardfoundation.org.
Is that the Yard Foundation?
Theyardfoundation.org.
Thank you.
And we might have that on the website as well. All right. All right, anyone else on announcements? All right, we'll move on to receipt of written communications from the public. Are there any written communications that you have received in advance?
No, Mayor.
All right. And is there anyone in the audience that has a written communication they would like to deliver to the council, a written communication? All right, there being none, we'll move on to item 4, public forum. Has anyone signed up for public forum?
No one has signed up.
All right, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council that did not have an opportunity to sign up for public forum? All right, there are none. We'll move on to item 5, the consent agenda. Is there any, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Alderman Mulliner.
I'd like to remove something from the consent agenda.
Let's get it before the council first. So we got a motion.
I think you want to remove it before you get it before the council.
I feel like I've done this before,
Yeah,
but maybe not.
this is a tough one to remember,
Right.
I know.
Sorry. Is there any item that anyone would like to remove from the consent agenda, either to vote against or for further discussion? Sorry, Alderman Mulliner.
5.4.
5.4. Any others? All right, Alderman Mulliner now will make the motion to approve the consent agenda minus item 5.4. Is there a second? Alderman Bastido. All right. Clerk Tamer, if you'll read the consent agenda.
5.1, minutes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on February 22nd, 2022. 5.2, accounts payable, March 2nd, 2022, total $9,538,538.10. 5.3, report, case number 22, P-01-
Balancer from talking. Let's go.
Timothy Christian, conditional use permit for PUD and subdivision. Sorry, 5.4 report, oh, no, I'm sorry, that was removed. 5.5 report, beer on the wall. 5.6 report, intergovernmental agreement renewal, City of Elmhurst, and Pace Ride DuPage. 5.7 report, York and Villette Business Associations 2022-2023 Farmers Market. 5.8 report, Elmhurst Running Club 4 on the 4th, 2022 run. 5.9 report, Pet Parade 2022. 5.10 report, professional engineering agreement for South Elevated Tank Rehabilitation. 5.11 report, building automation repairs and maintenance. 5.12, an ordinance granting a variation from the front yard setback requirements of the property commonly known as 485 North Van Auken Street, Elmhurst, Illinois. 5.13, an ordinance rejecting the bid for the 2022 through 2024 contract tree removal and tree trimming. 5.14, an ordinance making appropriations for special service area number 6 of the City of Elmhurst for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2022. 5.15, an ordinance making appropriations for special service area number 16 of the City of Elmhurst for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2022. 5.16, an ordinance making appropriations for special service area number 13 of the City of Elmhurst for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2022. 5.7, a resolution authorizing the execution of a recapture agreement by and between J.J. Doherty Builders, Inc. and the City of Elmhurst, Illinois. 5.18, a resolution appointing the City of Elmhurst, Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund authorized agent. And 5.19, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a general release and settlement agreement and an employment separation and release agreement.
All right, thank you, Clerk Tamer. Before we vote, Alderman Muller, I want to clarify, as Vice Chair of the committee, you're pulling it back to committee, not just...
Yes, we're pulling it back to committee.
All right, thank you. And then, City Attorney, do you have something you want to contribute in item 5.19?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. With respect to 5.19, there is a general release and settlement agreement between the city and the city employee Eric Burmeister. The settlement is in the amount of $80,000. There is no admission on the part of the city of any liability whatsoever. This is an effort to settle a disputed EEOC claim.
Thank you. All right, Clerk Tamer, will you call the roll?
Dunn.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Palumski. Absent. Jensen. Toledo.
Aye.
Cahill. Absent. Nudera.
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Conquest. Absent. Bastido.
Aye.
Mulliner.
Aye.
Brennan.
Aye.
Barimas.
Aye.
Deuter.
Aye.
11 ayes, 0 nays, 3 absent.
11 ayes, 0 nays, 3 absent. The consent agenda is approved. On to item 6, committee reports. 6.1, elected official email protocol. Clerk Tamer, would you read the report?
It is therefore the recommendation of the Finance, Council Affairs, and Administrative Services Committee that the City Council approve a City of Elmhurst elected official email use and access policy as proposed. Signed, Bob Dunn, Chair, Noel Toledo, Vice Chair, Jennifer Varimas, Alderwoman, Ward 1, and Chris Jensen, Alderman, Ward 3.
Thank you. May I have a motion to put this before the council? Motion, Alderman Dunn. Second, Alderman Toledo. Alderman Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This particular report was on the agenda at our last council meeting. We pulled it back to tweak the policy. So we have a report and attached policy. We had this before committee for several meetings. As most of us know, we moved to an Outlook platform for our email, more of a current email platform, and I think most of us were pretty happy to do that. Prior to that, we were on a group-wise platform, which was a bit outdated and a bit hard to use. And one of the problems with that is it was very hard for our FOIA officer to search emails when we get FOIA requests with Outlook. It's much simpler to do that. So in order to standardize and to promote efficiency in responding to FOIA requests, we looked at a policy that was actually stemmed from a referral from Mayor Levin to have a policy where all city staff and all elected officials would use Outlook for all city business. So, that's what the policy is in front of us, the report outlining that. This is intended to take effect April 1st, so we still have a little bit of time for those elected officials that might be still on a personal email to move over or migrate to the Outlook platform. There was some discussion, concern over privacy issues with using a city email with some of the elected officials. There is, in the attached policy, it does describe the ethics responsibility of our IT department and some of the guidelines that they use in searching and accessing emails. We'll take any questions if you have them. I think we generally got mostly positive response from the elected officials moving to Outlook as opposed to our older email platform that we had. So I asked your support in approving this report outlining this new policy to take effect April 1st.
Thank you, Alderman Dunn. Any other comments? Alderman Brennan.
I feel it necessary to say what a great upgrade it is as far as technology, and look forward to following the policy and leveraging the technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Brennan. Any other discussion? I will add, you know, it was a little bit thought-provoking going through this process. There's also some helpful information. I know a lot of times we get policies from committees and we don't look at them as carefully, but it talks about what kinds of things you need to retain and what kind of things you can delete under the Public Records Act, so it's a good refresher on that. But if there's no other discussion, Clerk Tamer, call the roll.
Dunn.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Palumski absent. Jensen.
Aye.
Toledo.
Aye.
Cahill absent. Nudera.
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Conquest absent. Bastido.
Aye.
Mulliner.
Aye.
Brennan.
Aye.
Verimus.
Aye.
Deuter.
Aye.
11 ayes, 0 nays, 3 absent.
11 ayes, 0 nays, 3 absent. Report 6.1 is adopted. Report 6.2, ward boundary map. Clerk Tamer, if you'd read the report.
It is therefore the recommendation of the Finance, Council Affairs, and Administrative Services Committee that the City Council approve the ward boundary map as proposed. Signed, Bob Dunn, Chair, Noel Toledo, Vice Chair, Jennifer Verimus, Alderwoman Ward 1, and Chris Jensen, Alderman Ward 3.
All right, very good. Motion to put this before council, Alderman Dunn, second by Alderman Toledo. Alderman Dunn.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Every 10 years, we have the U.S. Census, and in that there's, we know about the redistricting that occurs at the state level for congressional districts, as well as at the county level in those districts, and that happens also at the municipal level. So every 10 years, we look at population shifts in our wards. We have 7 of them. And our responsibility is to keep those wards as even as possible in population. I think this state law is 10%, but we try to do get it much more even than that. So we had this before committee. Quite a few meetings. We looked at a lot of iterations. You can tell on the attached map, this is iteration H, so we had those other iterations that we looked at as well. I think our guidelines were, first and foremost, to keep the ward configuration boundary as simple as possible so that you could explain it to the residents and they could understand that. We tried to not change the existing ward boundaries much, but obviously we had to do that to move some population around. And we tried to have reasonably rectangular type of boundaries so that they were not of odd shapes. Again, that would be hard to describe to somebody and explain. So we did have a population increase in Elmhurst. We're now at 45,793 for a total population. So the average population per ward is 6,542. If you look at the map that was in the packet, our proposal, the committee's proposal, is to move a small section from Ward 5 into Ward 1, and that's shown, or I'm sorry, from Ward 1 into Ward 5, and that's shown in the red crosshatch section. And then there's a small section that will be moving from Ward 7 into Ward 6, and that's shown by the blue crosshatch section. So after those small moves, we have a very even population distribution. Ward 1 actually ends up with the lowest, but these are population counts that occurred 2 years ago. We've had some development since then, and we believe that Ward 1 is going to see some growth between when the census was taken and right now, and then in the near future as well. I think the committee was pretty comfortable with this new distribution, and it ended up being a very simple change affecting, 2 movements affecting 4 wards. So we'll take any questions, but I ask you to support this new ward configuration that the committee is proposing.
All right, other discussion? It's really not as fancy as the state and federal maps that I see, or, Picasso-esque, but, okay, this is what you're offering, we'll take a look at it.
Right. Yeah, very
All right,
boring.
any discussion? All right, Clerk Tamer, call the roll.
Dunn.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Lemke absent. Jensen.
Aye.
Toledo. Aye. Cahill absent. Nudera.
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Conquest absent. Fastido.
Aye.
Mulliner.
Aye.
Brennan.
Aye.
Baremus.
Aye.
Deuter.
Aye.
11 ayes, 0 nays, 3 absent.
All right, 11 ayes, 0 nays, 3 absent, and the report 6.2 is adopted. On to items 7, 7.1, reports and recommendations of elected officials and appointed officials. For my report, last Saturday was a very remarkable day for Elmhurst post-pandemic. In advance of the parade, the Elmhurst University's president hosted all of us at the community breakfast, which was a very fine event, followed by the St. Patrick's Day Parade, which I think had some record numbers. Chief tells me not record problems, very well-behaved, family-oriented crowd. Fortunately, we had the Weather Service deliver fine weather and then rain to get everyone to go home. I want to thank Jim O'Connor and his parade committee for all their hard work. It looks like it's easy. It's not. I'm sure they have a lot of fun doing it, but we reap the benefits of that. I also wanted to, 2 more things. We've talked about the Citizens Police Academy, which is a 12-week program designed to give citizens a working knowledge of our law enforcement officers here. The program is offered free of charge, and it's limited to 25 residents. Per session, 1 block of instruction each week from 6:30 to 9:30 provides an in-depth view of how each particular division of our department functions. The program is both informative and fun. I didn't write that, but I've heard it is, allowing students actual hands-on experience in some classes. So there's still a couple openings. It starts March 9th. So if you're interested, and runs from March 9th through May 25th, so if anyone's interested in out there on the watching this, there's still time to sign up. And last, I want to invite all of you and the public to our State of the City address, which is 7:30 on Thursday, March 17th, which will be hosted by Elmhurst Community Bank and the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce, and it will be at the Community Bank on the Butterfield address. That was put off from January so that we can all be there instead of doing it virtually. That is my report. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. 2 items. First, a reminder that vehicle stickers are now on sale. People should have received the applications in the mail, but you can also purchase them online. You can mail it back. You can come in person to City Hall to buy those. And then the other item is to add on to what you said about the parade. Appreciate Jim O'Connor and his staff, but I want to thank the city staff who all had something to do with that. I believe it touches every department in the city, and I hope everybody had fun there. It was a great day. Thank you.
All right, item 8.
I have one announcement.
All right.
Sorry.
Clerk Tamer.
Yes. So on Wednesday, next Wednesday, March 16th, the Elmhurst Commission on Youth is hosting the annual Job and Volunteer Fair. It'll be at York High School in the Commons area, 4:30 to 7 o'clock p.m. So there is those that have been coming every year, there is a time change. It's no longer after school. It'll be 4:30 to 7. It is free, grades 6 through 12, due to volunteer and job opportunities. So we do grades 6 through 12. No registration, free. Any questions, just ask me or go to elmhurst.org, and it's on the city website.
Thank you, Clerk Tamer. Alderman Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just an update on some goings-on at ONCC. So Thursday, February 24th, I attended the Fly Quiet Committee meeting, and that was a very productive one. We have two alternatives that we are sorting through and trying to move those forward for a final vote, one versus the other. Alternative B or Alternative H. So those were had final adjustments and they were approved, those two. So the next meeting, our March meeting in 2 weeks, is we're going to expect to make a final vote on which one we're going to move forward with. So the configuration B or Alternative B is a rotation where the diagonal runways are in it 1/3 of the time, north runways, south runways, and diagonal. We believe that's a more fair sharing of the nighttime operations, whereas Alternative H uses the diagonals half the time every other week, and then north and south only 25% of the time. So we're looking forward to getting that move forward and moving the favorable option ahead, hopefully Alternative B, for the benefit of, I think, everyone around the airport, including Elmhurst. Also attended the last Monday, the executive committee meeting of ONCC to approve the ONCC agenda for the full meeting, which was last Friday. But also it was discussed to move to a in-person meeting for the large group, the ONCC, on Friday mornings. Those are usually held once a month. And we did have an ONCC full meeting last week. It was pretty well attended via Zoom. The next one's going to be live. But there was one update on a daytime noise committee meeting. I had wanted Elmhurst to have a seat in that committee, but the approach was to get new towns and representatives on that committee, which I respect. There's fair representation between the east-west communities and the diagonal communities on there. That committee has been meeting, and I expect to be involved with it, though. That's my report.
Thank you, Alderman Dunn. Other business? Other business? All right. I'm sorry, other reports, I should say, before we go on to other business. All right, other business before the council. All right, on to item 9, motion to adjourn. Alderman Brennan with a motion. Alderman Deuter with a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.